JFK was yawning awake when Noah Carter cleared security with burnt coffee and a boarding pass saying 2A. Black hoodie, jeans, quiet shoes, the uniform of a man done proving anything. He wanted a window, 40 minutes of sky, and silence before the call that could decide whether Aryan systems got eaten. The window was occupied. Blonde bob, diamond like a raindrop. Posture that said the world had always yielded. Her tote bag colonized the footwell. Her coat owned the armrest, her phone scrolled mansions. "Excuse me," Noah said. "I think you're in my seat." She didn't look up. "Be appropriate," the woman murmured. "Find another seat." He breathed once. The pass was soft at the corners. 2A, the aisle behind him gathered impatience. A flight attendant arrived with a smile engineered to defuse bombs. "Good morning, I'm Mina. We're sorting a small mix-up. Mrs. Vale is a platinum with us." Glanced at the hoodie as if it might stain. "There's a terrific aisle in 3C. Noah's phone buzzed. Maya, 3 gray bubbles, then nothing. Under it, a missed call from his mother, Evelyn. He told them he was flying early, that he'd try to make dinner. The screen went dark like an eye closing. He pictured Meyer at 13, legs folded on the couch, pretending not to hear when he and Tessa hissed logistics. Since the divorce, every reminder sounded like a siren. "Sir." Mina prodded gently. The woman finally lifted her chin. Catherine Vale, real estate royalty. Her smile was polite the way a lock is polite. "You'll be comfortable in 3C. 2A is on my boarding pass," Noah said. "I'd like to sit in it." Catherine laughed softly. "We're all adults. Flexibility makes travel bearable." She angled further into the window, staking the view. Mina's smile tightened. "We appreciate cooperation. Mrs. Ale specifically requested a left-side window." He heard his father. "Respect is a door that opens both ways. Be kind, son, but not small." A man in a suit bumped his backpack. "Let's move it." Murmurs swelled. The cabin watched to see whether the guy in the hoodie would fold. Noah looked at Mina. "I'm cooperating," he said. "I checked in. I boarded. I walked to my assigned seat." He turned to Catherine. 2A. Catherine's eyes cooled. "Status exists for reason." He felt the old heat rise, the one that made him over-explain in rooms with glass walls. He swallowed it. Mina gestured toward 3C. "It's a great seat." Noah slid the pass from his pocket and held it steady. "It's my seat," he said, the words heavy as a key. "I'm not moving." The aisle went quiet. Vents hissed. Mina's smile flickered. Catherine's thumb hovered over a mansion she would never live in. Somewhere behind Noah, a briefcase snapped, sharp as warning. The cabin held breath. "Now." Mina's smile didn't move, the line did. A bag clipped Noah's shin. Catherine Vale angled her phone at his hoodie, then looked at Mina like, "See." "I'll call the captain," Mina said. The chime fell like a gavel. Noah's phone buzzed. "Maya, are you coming, or should I tell Mom not to set a plate?" He typed deleted. Under it, Evelyn's voicemail, "Call me when you land. Don't bargain yourself away." 2 rows back, a woman leaned into the aisle, press badge, Lydia Cruz, Sentinel Ledger. She eyed the 2A placard, then Noah's pass. "Mind if I watch?" "We're resolving a small mix-up," Mina said. The cockpit door clicked. Captain Luis Hidalgo came down the aisle. "Morning, what's the issue?" Catherine went first. "There's no issue, I'm settled. He'll be fine in 3C. Mina, Mr. Carter is assigned 2A. Mrs. Vale is platinum and requested a left window." Hidalgo to Noah. "Sir, sometimes the easiest path gets us all home on time." "Sometimes the easiest path is the wrong one," Noah said. Noah pictured the first flight with Tessa and baby Maya. Then Harvard, the dean who asked, "Are you sure you're in the right room?" He was done explaining. "Sir," Hidalgo said, "if you'd be flexible. What do you need me to bend around?" "This isn't personal," Catherine said. "Status exists for a reason. We contribute a lot. Don't make a scene." From row 5, a college kid raised her phone. "Amory Cho, I'm live for a class project on travel inequity." "It's not permitted," Mina said, too soft to stop it. His pen moved. "Captain, are you asking the ticketed passenger to relocate for a loyalty request?" "I'm asking for cooperation," Hidalgo said. "From which party?" Lydia asked. Mina tried. "We can offer Mr. Carter priority service, complimentary Wi-Fi and..." "Wi-Fi for my seat," Noah said. "Inventive." Catherine's smile sharpened. "You're worked up over a window, sweetheart. Maybe this is about something else." "People chase diversity upgrades now." "What's that supposed to mean?" Noah asked. "It means some folks learn that loudness pays, perform being wronged and get more than they bought." Mina flinched. Comments raced on Amory's screen. Hidalgo raised a hand. "Let's keep this civil." "It is civil," Noah said. "That's the point." Marcus's text blinked. Board moved 30. Stone sniffing Atlas, "You good?" Under it, Evelyn again. "Don't let them rename you." Noah to Mina. "If I give up 2A, what story do you write about me?" "That you were kind under pressure," she whispered. "And about her?" "That she's valued." Catherine angled toward the window. "We done here?" Lydia lifted her chin. "Captain, I'll quote you. Choose the sentence you mean." Hidalgo looked at line clock. Mrs. Vale, may I see your boarding pass? Catherine didn't move. I'm comfortable. Your pass, he repeated. Catherine pressed the call button. The chime rang again, and somewhere down the aisle, a second chime answered it. The second chime came from Coach, a timid ping that made Mina glance down cabin as if the plane were voting. Noah thumbed call. Maya, she answered on the third ring, voice bright and guarded. Hey kiddo, you on the plane? In the aisle, I'll be home by dinner. He pictured her at the chipped cereal bowl. Somewhere, Tessa would be pretending not to listen. You always say dinner, Maya said. Like the word pays for the chair you never sit in. I'm trying to sit in one right now, he said. Actual chair? What does that mean? A woman's in my seat. People want me to be flexible. Are you going to be? He looked at 2A. Catherine Vale watched him like he was a smudge. Mina rubbed her temple. The captain stood there, made of policy. No, he said, not today. Mom says pick your battles. She's right, he said, but some battles pick you. Last time you picked one, Maya said, I played to an empty chair. Ache under his ribs. A dark stage, Evelyn smiling too hard. He had promised. Life dented the promise. You still there? I'm here, he said, texting when we push back. Save me a seat. I don't save ghosts. Then softer, see you if you actually come. She hung up. Evelyn's voicemail waited. He tapped it. Sweetheart, his mother said. Respect that isn't tested is theater. Don't bargain yourself away. Bring bread, I love you. Marcus texted. Board moved 30, you've got air. Stone circling Atlas, wants a vote to split Arian. Also eat, you're mean when hungry. He slid the phone away and felt the old split open. Man who keeps a company from being eaten, father who keeps missing soup at 6. Mina drifted back. Mr. Carter, she said, careful, if we miss the slot we sit on the tarmac, everyone's going to hate everyone. They already do, he said. Hidalgo cleared his throat. Mrs. Vale, we still need to see your boarding pass. Catherine didn't move. I booked this seat. Then showing the pass will be easy. Lydia said. Catherine reached into her bag and produced a magazine. Herself on the cover, set it on her lap like ID. I'm not doing this theater. Then we're at policy, Hidalgo said, and policy needs a document. Policy also needs donors, Catherine murmured. Mina shut her eyes for half a second, then looked at Noah. One last time, she whispered, please. He felt the tug. Take the aisle now, win favor later. Give an inch. Get a smile that spends like a nickel. It tasted like every missed recital. No, he said, a muscle warming. I'm sitting where I paid to sit. Catherine's phone pinged. She angled the screen, grin bright and private. See, she told Mina, there are ways. He thought of Atlas, the global alliance that moved half Arian's revenue through contracts stitched like arteries. Caleb Stone had been a friend once. Dorm room noodles, first code commits, the toast at Noah's wedding. Friends don't threaten arteries, predators do. Now, Noah's pocket buzzed too. He took the phone out without looking, still watching 2A. A new text uncoiled, unknown number, crisp as a subpoena. Walk away from 2A or watch me walk Atlas away from Arian. See, Stone. Noah stared at the text. Walk away from 2A or watch me walk Atlas away from Arian. Is that leverage? Lydia asked, pen hovering. It's noise, he said, though his pulse counted exits. Ree's voice rose. Chat where still live. First class, flight 1847. A man with 2A is told to be flexible so a platinum keeps her view. Thoughts? Mina returned with a tablet. Mr. Carter, I've secured 3C and added champagne, Wi-Fi, and a $200 voucher. For sitting in my seat? Noah asked. For being gracious, she said. Everyone gets home on time. Catherine arranged her scarf. See, solutions. He'll take perks, I'll keep the window. Lydia didn't look up. Mrs. Vale, you said loudness pays. Repeat that. That's not what I said, Catherine replied. Don't twist me. Roll the tape, Amory murmured. Captain Hidalgo checked the time. We're burning our slot. Slots can burn, Noah said. Rules shouldn't. Mina tried again. Help us and I'll get you off first, bag at the jetway. Noah looked around. What exactly am I, he asked, to keep your peace, a favor, a fire break? You're a gentleman, she said. He let the silence hold. I'm a passenger with 2A. Catherine laughed softly. God, the performance, you people love a stage. Lydia's pen stopped. People, Mrs. Vale. Catherine blinked. Don't be dramatic, I mean complainers, influencers, people who turn mishaps into paydays. Amory swung her camera. Ma'am, I'm recording, consent to be quoted. You may record my attorney, Catherine said. We're done. Hidalgo rubbed his brow. Mrs. Vale, boarding pass now, or we deplane and settle this at the gate. Go ahead, she said. My foundation pays for your uniforms, Captain. Mina's tablet chimed. Or asks why we haven't pushed. Tell them we're practicing integrity, Noah said. Tell them we're trapped in a TED talk, someone muttered. Lydia leaned in. Captain, if policy is to move the man with the ticket instead of the woman without it, say that, I'll report it. Hidalgo looked at the clock, the knot in his aisle. Policy is fairness, he said. Mrs. Vale, last request. Denied, Catherine said. Mina's hand trembled. She faced 2A. Mr. Carter, please sit. He stepped forward. He rested 2 fingers on the headrest, gentle as a knock. Mrs. Vale, he said, I won't touch your things. I won't raise my voice. I will take my seat. You'll do no such thing, she said. Do you know who I am? Lydia's pen scratched. We all will soon. Mina swallowed. Captain, I can't. You can, Noah told her. The right thing is the simple thing, just earlier. Catherine lifted her phone, a text blinking. See this. The CEO, he's a friend. Noah smiled once. Mine too, he said. Sir, Hidalgo asked. Noah lifted his pass, a boring piece of paper turned blade. 2A, he told the room. From coach, the second chime rang again, timid and insistent. Amory panned toward the sound. Lydia followed, then looked back at Noah, something dawning. Captain, Noah said, voice gone cold. Return this aircraft to the gate. Hidalgo froze. Mina stared as if a door had appeared where a wall had been. Catherine laughed, brittle. Return the what? You don't give orders on this plane. Noah looked past her to Mina, then to the lens that had been watching since be appropriate. Watch me, he said. Vents hissed. The lens waited. Noah unzipped his backpack and slid out a gray tablet, unbranded, boring like a vault door. Catherine indulged him. What now, tick-tock? Arian, he said, waking the screen. Mina's head twitched at the name. Black screen, white mark, Arian. 2 taps and a dashboard rose, green tiles. 1 amber, FLT 1847, pending push. Controls ghosted until his watch buzzed and unlocked them. Owner hold contract 7, 12. Return to gate coordination required. Footnote like a needle, exec hold requires cause plus notification. Lydia angled her badge for Amory's lens. You're in dispatch. I'm upstream, Noah said. Gates, crew, seats, wait, the manifest your captain confirms. Airline's license modules. We retain title. When our system posts a hold, the network listens. Captain Hidalgo folded his arms. We take orders from dispatch and ATC, not vendors. I'm not a vendor on this flight, Noah said. I'm the author of the thing dispatch and ATC are staring at. Catherine laughed, brittle. So you sell apps? I sell arteries, he said. Mina awed. Gate sync, ops link, manifest bridge, that's you. His phone pulsed. Marcus, Atlas Alliance stirring. Caleb Stone moving to review exclusivity. 2 carriers soft, he wants you to swing. Walk away from 2A or watch me walk Atlas away from Arian. Noah hovered his thumb over owner hold. Amber breathed under glass. Mr. Carter, Mina said low, if you trigger that, Union buries me in paperwork. I'm not here to bury you, he said. I'm here to stop another bad page. Hidalgo said, you're putting me in a corner. No, Noah said. A woman took my seat. Your crew asked the man with the ticket to be flexible while calling her valued. I'm giving the system a fact. Catherine crossed her legs. Fact, I'm not moving. Lydia said, then we find out if his software is theater. He heard his father. Respect that isn't tested is theater. He set his thumb on the slider without pushing. Captain, when I post an owner hold and a return to gate recommendation, it drops into your workflow in 10 seconds. You still own the airplane. You confirm with tower, that's the line. Hidalgo ran a calculation and came back wary. If this is a stunt, I'll own it in my name, Noah said. Catherine sat up. Your name is. He looked at her, then at the camera, then at his daughter's gray bubbles. The one on the patents, he said. His tablet buzzed. A red banner cut across the top. Executive alert, Atlas Alliance special session, motion to suspend Arian contracts for cause. Vote window 15 min. Amory gasped. Lydia swore. Catherine's smile returned. Looks like your show has witnesses, she said. 15 minutes wasn't a window, it was a countdown. Caleb had found a lever and called it reform. Mina whispered, what do you need? Truth, he said, and 10 seconds. He slid his thumb a centimeter. Owner hold brightened from ember to flame. Return to gate glowed. The legal needle blinked, cause plus notification. Lydia lifted her phone to catch his face and found only his hands steady. You wouldn't dare, Catherine said. Noah exhaled once. Watch me. He hadn't pushed yet, the system waited. Amber breathing when his watch vibrated again, a second alert layering over the first. Northstar CEO, calling, urgent. He let it ring once. Tablet hummed in Noah's hands. His watch kept vibrating like a trapped bee. Northstar CEO, calling. He answered without moving his eyes from 2A. Quinn, he said. Harper Quinn's voice was tight and courteous. Mr. Carter, are you about to post an owner hold on one of my departures? I'm about to ask your crew to enforce the manifest, Noah said. If they won't, I'll tell the truth in code. That truth will hit the wire as delay minutes in bad press. Quinn said, be flexible, we'll comp. Your attendant asked the assigned passenger to give up his seat because the unassigned passenger is valued, Noah said. A camera captured you people. If you comp anything, comp a lesson. Silence then, don't make my cabin your crusade. It became one when your cabin made me a favor, he said, and ended the call. Lydia slid closer, badge visible. Captain Hidalgo. On the record, are you asking the ticketed passenger to move to accommodate a loyalty request? Hidalgo adjusted his cap. I'm asking everyone to help us make our slot. Which is different from answering, Lydia said. Catherine tucked her phone away with a smile meant for gala lighting. Captain, the North Star Foundation underwrites your veterans program. Let's not get rigid about paperwork. Mina's throat worked. Mrs. Vale, policy is the paperwork. Policy is the part donors don't read. Mina looked at Noah, then really looked. If I escalate this, I'll be written up again. What happened last time? Noah asked. I filed a bias report when a man was bumped so a senator's aide could sit near him, she whispered. It was handled locally. I got a coaching note about tone. She swallowed. I pay rent on tone. Noah softened. You shouldn't have to. Neither should you, she said, then flinched at her own courage. Amory's chat flooded. Captain pick a side. Manifest status. Ahmad pinned a comment. Who gets asked to be flexible says who we are. Catherine exhaled a laugh. Listen to your influencers, Captain. They're always so wise. Hidalgo checked his watch, the door, the aisle like a man watching water rise. Mrs. Vale, show your boarding pass, then we're done. I told you I'm settled, she said. Don't punish me for being organized. Lydia lifted her pen. Organized would look like a barcode. Marcus's text flashed. Atlas session live now. Stone pushing, abuse of market power. 2 carriers wobbling. Can you breathe and fight at once? Evelyn chimed in too, as if she had written from a church pew. Do right by people and by your girl. Noah saw the little gray bubbles under Maya's name, then nothing. The cold inside him sharpened. Catherine, he said evenly, this isn't about your comfort. It's about whether a rule lives only on paper. Everything lives only on paper, she said, until someone with a pen decides to be generous. Lydia's eyes flicked to the tablet. Mr. Carter, are you that pen? Noah faced the captain. I'm not here to humiliate your crew. I'm asking you to say the sentence that keeps the plane honest, Mrs. Vale, this is not your seat. Hidalgo looked at Mina. She nodded, so small it could have been a tremor. He turned to Catherine. Ma'am, this is not your seat. Catherine held the stare for a full beat, then smiled like breaking ice. Then upgrade me. Mina blinked. There is no upgrade. It's the top of the cabin. Then downgrade him, Catherine said, nodding at Noah. He'll blog about it, you'll give miles, we'll all move on. Lydia let out a breath that sounded like a laugh. There it is. Hidalgo's jaw tightened. Ma'am, please stand. Catherine did not move. No, Amory zoomed in on Mina, whose hands had started to shake. If I push this, Mina whispered, I could lose my job. You could keep your dignity, Noah said. Catherine's voice sharpened. Dignity is a luxury for people who don't have real assets to protect. Noah's watch buzzed again. Caleb Stone, public statement drafted. Arian threatens safety. Choose your headline. He felt the cliff and stepped off it. Captain, he said, steady as a gavel, return this aircraft to the gate. Mina went still. The aisle went breathless. Lydia's pen stopped moving. Catherine laughed, a brittle wind chime. You don't give orders, she said. Noah tapped the tablet. The owner hold slider lit like a runway. A text box bloomed, cause plus notification. He typed with his thumbs, each word another floor laid. Refusal to vacate assigned seat 2A. Discriminatory language recorded. Crew proposed relocating assigned passenger. Owner requests gate for policy enforcement. He hovered his thumb above post. Mina spoke without looking at anyone. If you do it fast, she said. Slow hurts more. He pressed. For a hot second nothing happened. Then the tablet chirped, the banner flipped to active, a new line stamped the captain's workflow. Hidalgo's radio crackled. Flight 1847 dispatch. We're seeing an owner hold with cause, confirm. The cabin paused on the edge of a new gravity. Hidalgo lifted the handset with eyes on Noah. Tower, he said, voice even, this is 1847, returning to gate. Catherine's smile died. Lydia's lens glinted. Amory whispered to her chat, you saw it, you were here. And the plane began to turn. The nose wheel thumped and the aircraft tilted off the taxi line like a thought changing its mind. Captain Hidalgo's radio crackled again, dry as gravel. North Star 1847 dispatch. Owner hold acknowledged, cause logged. Return to C7, do not depart without release. A soft collective sound traveled the cabin, half gasp, half thrill. Someone said, he can't do that. Someone else said, he just did. Catherine Vale sat very still as if motion itself were an insult. Captain, she said, voice precise as a scalpel, reverse this stunt. Hidalgo keyed the PA. Ladies and gentlemen, we're returning to the gate due to an operational discrepancy. Please remain seated with belts fastened. Amory whispered to her phone, chat, you're watching a plane turn around because a rule actually mattered. Mina moved to Noah's side, her eyes were too bright. Why didn't you tell me who you are? I told you what mattered, he said, my seat. Catherine turned, the full wattage of a fundraiser smile weaponized. Who are you? Noah kept his gaze on the window he hadn't yet earned. A man who built a system that keeps promises in print, he said, and today it's keeping one. Lydia studied his face as if matching a sketch to a headline. Carter, she murmured. Noah Carter, Aryan white paper rails, not wings. Catherine's expression flickered. So you write think pieces. He writes the code your barcode talks to, Lydia said. Fantastic, Catherine said. Then he knows how expensive this delay is. Captain, call security and disembark him. Hidalgo's jaw worked. Ma'am, we don't disembark the passenger with the ticket because the one without it says please. Mina's hand hovered near the call button and fell away. Mrs. Vale, she said steady, when we park, I'll receipt you, not here. Catherine's mouth hardened. You like your job. I like the mirror, Mina said. A man in row 4, broad shoulders, gray at the temples, leaned out. Captain, I flew 20 years in uniform. Let the man sit in his seat. Beside him, his wife squeezed his hand and nodded without meeting anyone's eyes. Hidalgo's radio, North Star 1847, ATC. Gate C7 personnel advised. Hold door closed on arrival pending corporate instruction. Lydia looked up. Hold door closed is not a phrase you want to hear. Noah's watch buzzed. Marcus, Atlas vote window at 5. Stone has 4 yes, he's selling abuse of market power. Can you stall? Evelyn again, bring bread, be decent. Maya, typing then nothing. Catherine adjusted her diamond. You'll pay for this, mister. What did you say, Carter? There are boards that don't care for men who grandstand. Then they can prefer the quiet kind, he said. Amory swiped through comments, eyes wide. Guys, it's blowing up. The chat says everyone's had a be flexible moment. They are crying. Mina glanced at Noah's tablet, then at him. When we stop, she said quietly, they'll try to make you the problem. You started the correction. Don't let them rewrite it. He thought of a violin in a school gym, a bow catching and correcting itself mid-note. He had missed the song. Maybe he could land the measure after. The aircraft bumped into the gate like a docking heartbeat. Chime. Seatbelts unclicked, stopped by Mina's palm in a calm, flat line. Please remain seated, she said. We're on a short hold. Catherine yanked her bag higher, then let it drop when she realized the door wouldn't open. Is this legal? Lydia said. So many things are legal until someone asks what they mean. Hidalgo stood over the handset, listening to words the cabin couldn't hear. His face went neutral the way faces go neutral before they're quoted. Catherine leaned toward him, hush urgent. Captain, the North Star Foundation. Ma'am, he said without looking at her, please do not speak to me about money while I'm hearing from operations about policy. Her nostrils flared. Policy lives under money. Not today, Mina said. Noah's watch buzzed again. Caleb Stone, last chance to cancel the hold and apologize. You'll look righteous on camera and bankrupt at dawn. He typed with his thumb. I'd rather spend what I have than be the man Maya thinks I am. He didn't send it. He put the phone face down on his knee and felt the tremor leave. Lydia adjusted her badge. Mr. Carter, when that door opens, there will be a VP with a statement and a lawyer with a bandage. You have a sentence. This isn't about me, he said. That's a paragraph. What's the sentence? Customer service ends where dignity begins. She wrote it down without looking up. It'll read. From the back, the timid chime rang a third time. Mina glanced down the aisle, eyes searching past curtains and elbows. What is that? Lydia asked. Someone else voting, Mina said. Catherine watched Noah, curiosity finally punching through contempt. Let me guess, you don't even like window seats. He smiled without warmth. I like promises. The jet bridge connected with a rubbery thud. The door stayed shut. Through the peephole glass, a wash of airport vests in dark suits rippled like a storm cloud held at the window. Hidalgo's radio again. 1847, operations. Corporate and legal at the jet. Maintain door. Do not release passengers. A murmur ran the length of the cabin, the sound of people realizing they were part of a larger noun. Amory's camera caught Mina's profile, a young woman who had decided which mirror she could live with. Comments poured over her face like confetti. Noah's tablet pinged with a different tone, internal metallic. A banner crawled across the top. Atlas Alliance. Motion to suspend Aryan contracts in progress. The ellipsis blinked like a tiny pulse. Another line slid under it. North Star Ops, do not open, corporate boarding your aircraft. Catherine exhaled a laugh that didn't sound like one. They're coming to thank you. Noah didn't answer. He slid the tablet into the seat pocket, then took it back out. He needed both hands empty. Mina straightened her jacket, tucked a flyaway hair, and squared herself to the door as if it were a stage and a verdict. Lydia stepped back 2 paces to frame the shot and murmured, on your terms, Carter. Noah looked at 2A, the window he'd fought for and not sat in, and then at Mina. After, he said, I'm going to sit there. You are, she said. The latch turned from the other side with a heavy click. The door edged inward, slow, ceremonial. A wedge of fluorescent light cut the carpet. Shoes appeared first, black, polished, expensive. A hand gripped the frame. Red lacquer nails scarlet as a stop sign. North Star Operations, a woman's voice announced, smooth and controlled. No one moves. Mr. Carter, you'll come with us. Noah stood without touching anything. His watch buzzed once more. Marcus, Atlas vote final in 60 seconds. The woman in the doorway smiled like a contract. Let's talk about what you've broken, she said, and stepped inside. They funneled him into the jet bridge like a decision. Fluorescent hum, metal breath. At the mouth of C7, a velvet rope and a wall of Navy blazers waited, airport ops, legal, PR, security. Cameras already there, drawn like gulls to a trawler. Woman with the lacquered nails stepped forward. Dana Morales, North Star Operations. Her smile was measured. Mr. Carter, let's resolve this privately. Lydia drifted 2 paces left to catch both faces in frame. Define privately. Dana didn't look at her. We'll reseat parties and issue goodwill, then we'll release a statement. To say what? Noah asked. That our valued guests experienced a misunderstanding. Customer service ends where dignity begins. He said, it landed. 2 PR people scribbled like they were taking medicine. Catherine swanned off the jet bridge behind Mina and Captain Hidalgo, rearranged outrage around her shoulders. Finally, can we put the influencer back in economy and move on? Lydia lifted her badge. Mrs. Vale, quick, do you concede you were in a seat you didn't hold? Catherine's lawyer materialized like smoke. No questions. Dana aimed both palms at the air. We are not a press conference. Then lower to Noah. You forced an owner hold on a live departure. If you were anyone else, you'd be in cuffs. If I were anyone else, Noah said, you'd have asked me to be flexible and called her valued. Dana's jaw ticked. I need your device. No, Noah said. Security shifted. Lydia's voice cut through. Prior restraint makes terrible video. Mina stood between them, voice even. MS, Morales. The manifest assigned 2A to Mr. Carter. We asked him to move because Mrs. Vale is platinum and we didn't want a scene. Good, Dana said. Then we all agree a scene helps no one. It helped the truth, Mina said and surprised herself. Amory slipped under a blazer's elbow, phone up. Chat, we're at C7. Ops wants private. The man in the hoodie says dignity. Vote below. Marcus's name lit Noah's watch. Atlas session live. Stone selling, abuse of power. 2 carriers soft. We need a line. Noah turned so the rope and the crowd could hear. Here's the line. Suspend the crew pending review. Publish 5 years of bias complaints and outcomes. Build escalation into your system so a report can't die in a local folder labeled tone. Dana's mouth made a small O before it remembered it was a line. We don't negotiate with passengers at the gate. You're negotiating with your software, Noah said, and the people who pay to trust it. Catherine laughed thin. Suspend the crew for asking a man to be gracious, hysterical. Lydia didn't move her eyes from Dana. North Star, do you have the numbers? Last 12 months, bias or unfair treatment complaints, escalations, discipline. Dana's PR people pretended to find something on their phones. We don't have those to hand. We do, Marcus said, appearing at Noah's shoulder with a tablet. He projected to the gate monitor in one swipe, data snapped up like a slap. 312 discrimination-coded complaints. 9 escalated. 0 disciplinary actions. A low hiss traveled the rope line. Dana didn't blink. That's internal. Remove it. It's yours, Marcus said. We integrate your feeds. Hidalgo stared at the numbers and looked a decade older. Catherine glanced at her lawyer. Can we sue a spreadsheet? No, Lydia said, but you can read. Dana chose a different plank. Captain Hidalgo MS Park, you are relieved pending investigation. HR will contact you. Mina's lips parted. Both of us. Standard, Dana said. Catherine smiled like a bruise. Their balance. Noah shook his head. Balance would note who refused to move and who got asked to surrender what was theirs. Dana's patience frayed. Mr. Carter, you've already made your point. Stop before you make a mess. The mess was built into the carpet, he said. Amory zoomed in on Mina. How do you feel? Scared, Mina said. And clean. The timid chime from the cabin sounded again, faint from down the tube like a conscience paging itself. Noah and Lydia turned. Who keeps pressing that? Lydia asked. Someone who thinks votes count, Mina said. Dana tried for command. We're done. She nodded to security. Escort Mr. Carter to a conference room. Lydia stepped in. On what charge? He interfered with operations, Dana said. He insisted on operations, Noah said. The ones printed on a boarding pass. A ripple moved through the gathered passengers. A woman in a cardigan hugged a tote to her chest and spoke up. My husband got moved last month because a senator's aide wanted a window. No one asked the aide to be flexible. A man in uniform, row 4, the veteran called, treat the rule like it's for everyone or stop printing it. Dana looked at the rope line and saw a jury. She exhaled. Captain Hidalgo and MS Park are suspended pending review. North Star will publish quarterly complaint data and create a corporate escalation path within 60 days. And the 5 years? Noah asked. We'll see what's feasible. It's feasible, Marcus said. Catherine made a disgusted sound. Is this where we pretend to be a movement? This is where you get another seat, Mina said. Noah's watch buzzed hard. Marcus, Atlas vote, tie, stone trending to win. Need a statement now. Fight in 2 arenas or we lose both. Lydia saw his eyes change. What is it? Another room where men who don't fly coach decide what rules mean, Noah said. Security edged closer. Dana extended a palm. Mr. Carter, the device. He raised both hands empty. I'll leave the device, after I say one more sentence at that microphone. This is not a press. Noah stepped to the little podium anyway, the one meant for final calls and boarding groups, and leaned in like a man about to name a child. Every minute you've spent watching this, he told the terminal, is a minute that teaches you something truer than any slogan. Systems don't fail, they perform their design. If your design asks the person with less power to be flexible so the person with more can be valued, then your system worked perfectly today. A beat, then applause, not loud but stubborn. Dana's radio crackled, hard and official. North Star 1847, hold at gate. FAA liaison inbound. Secure all devices used in operational override. Security stepped in as if a light changed. Lydia's pen paused mid-word. Amory's chat erupted. Mina's hand found the edge of the podium. Mr. Carter, Dana said, suddenly small, don't make this worse. He didn't move. Behind him, from the jet bridge, the timid chime sounded a 4th time and a boy's voice, thin but clear, floated forward. He took my seat too. Every head turned, the camera swung, and the officers kept coming. The voice from the jet bridge was small and stubborn. He took my seat too. Heads pivoted. A boy in a NASA hoodie stood behind Mina, fingers still on the call button he'd carried off the plane like a talisman. His mother, thin, exhausted, held 2 boarding passes like proof she'd practiced. A man with silver cuff links lurked 2 paces back, eyes on his phone. Mina crouched to the boy's level. What's your name? Leo, he said. I had the window. His mother's voice shook. He's 7, we booked early. At the door, the agent said a gold needed the left window for medical reasons. They moved my son. I pressed the button because no one listened. The cufflink man lifted a hand. I am diabetic, he said smoothly. The view helps me with what? Lydia asked, turning. Your glycemic index. Dana Morales pounced. We will receipt you all properly. You'll receipt us at home, Leo's mother said, heat rising. He cried for 20 minutes and learned exactly who counts. Amory's camera found the boy. Comments bloomed. Make room for Leo. Rules are rules. A woman typed, I'm gold, I'm ashamed. Noah felt the air thin. The timid chime, this was its mouth. Mina, he said, who approved that swap? Gate, Mina said, standing, but the cabin let it stand. Dana drew up to her full height. Enough, this is operations. A pattern, Lydia said. A headline. Marcus edged in, tablet up. Also a crisis. He flicked to a live dashboard. Atlas Alliance motion to suspend Arian contracts for cause. Vote tally, yes/no bars climbing toward a tie. Stone's calling it abuse of market power, Marcus said. They're citing the hold. Let them cite the cause too, Noah said. Refusal to enforce the manifest, derogatory language. Catherine Vale's phone buzzed. She paled, then overcompensated. Circus is why serious people fly private. Lydia's phone buzzed too. She read, blinked, and slid a PDF toward Noah. Different circus, she said. Vendor records from Arian's inclusion contractor. Bright Arc training. $500,000 accelerator workshops approved by, Noah saw the signature before she said the name. Jared Holt, Lydia finished. And these payments detour through a shell, Blackbird Strategies LLC. Beneficial owner, initial J. H. Noah's mouth went dry. Jared, dorm ramen, wedding toast. You sure? He asked, already knowing. Document trail sure, Lydia said. Also sure, Blackbird paid consulting fees to Vale Group. Catherine's head snapped. That's defamatory. It's arithmetic, Lydia said. Dates, amounts. Catherine's phone lit again, big font, margin call Vale 5. 25% 2027, cure by 12:30. She turned the screen down too late. Amory's phone vibrated with a name she didn't want. Ethan. She stepped aside, thumbed open. Ethan, K's team will license your RAW for $20K. They'll cut us in if you send full res now. Amory, it's not your footage. Ethan, we shot together. Consider it ours, or I leak your old DMs about making a name. Pick fast. She stared past him into a future where she was bait, not witness. Noah caught her look. What is it? He asked. An ex, she said. He wants to sell the story to the woman who took your seat. Catherine had the audacity to shrug. Market at work. Markets work when rules exist, Noah said. Dana tried to drag the conversation back to controllable nouns. Mr. Carter, we're implementing a review. HR has already suspended the 2 people who stood in front of a bad rule, Lydia cut in. Where's the accountability up, Shane? Dana's radio chirped. FAA liaison inbound, a voice said. Secure devices used for override. Security stepped closer. Noah felt the circle tighten. Marcus tugged his sleeve. I found the leak, he whispered, eyes on his tablet. He enlarged a header block, FW, owner hold API doc v4 from a personal Gmail to Seastone at. The forwarding account was J. Holt at Arian. EO, Noah swallowed. Jared. Timestamps line up with Stone's first abuse memo, Marcus said. He fed him the spec. Noah felt a hot, dumb grief. He was my best man, he said, voice gone tight. I gave him the keys because he asked how to lock the house. Lydia looked from tablet to Noah's face. You going to say his name or let me? Say it, Noah said, but I'm going to feel it first. Dana lifted a hand to security. Now, not yet, a new voice said. The crowd parted for a man in a gray suit with a badge on a lanyard. Fa. He scanned the room like an X-ray. I'm here to learn why a vendor's app wrote orders onto ATC's board. Noah lifted his hands again. Not a vendor on this flight, he said quietly. The author of the arteries, we posted cause. The captain confirmed, that's the line. And the optics, FAA said, glancing at cameras. Produce better optics, Noah said. Start with a 7-year-old and a window he paid for. Leo clutched his boarding pass. The cufflink man looked at the carpet. Catherine's lawyer reappeared with a smile like a paper cut. MS, Vale is prepared to donate to the Airline's community fund in recognition of today's learning. She's prepared to buy the headline, Lydia said. Hard pass. Amory's phone vibrated again. Ethan, last call, send. Or I send your voice note about this could finally be my break. Amory closed her eyes, then typed, send it. Leak everything, I'm going live anyway. She hit post and stepped in front of her own camera. My name is Amory Cho, she said. I've streamed this from the first Be Appropriate. No one paid me. No one owns my lens. If you see a version with a different voice, that's someone trying to buy your eyes. The chat erupted with hearts and we got you. Noah's watch buzzed so hard it hurt. Marcus, Atlas vote coming in and he didn't finish. The gate monitor flickered. Atlas Alliance result. Suspend Arian contracts pending investigation effective immediately. Air left the terminal in a sudden, horrible way. Noah heard only a low rush like blood past a cut. Dana's cheeks lifted by reflex. Operations prefer clarity, she said. Marcus whispered, they just blew a hole in us. Noah looked at the boy, at Mina, at the cufflinks, at the rope line that had found a conscience in public. We fill it, he said, not sure whether he was promising or praying. A ripple moved through the crowd. People looked past Noah's shoulder toward the concourse. Footsteps. A familiar laugh practiced for boardrooms. A man in a navy suit, hand on a woman's elbow, slid under the velvet rope with the surety of someone who believed ropes were decoration. Jared Holt. Close-cropped, clean, the best friend who knew where Noah hid his spare key. His other hand rested with ownership on Catherine Vale's forearm. Noah, Jared said gently, as if greeting a patient. We need to talk. News travels like a leak, slow, then all at once. While security boxed Noah at gate C7, another screen lit another room. Maya was in English when the first tag hit. Dad grounded a plain lol. The second, rules don't apply to your dad. Then a vertical clip, her father's hoodie ringed by phones. Heat climbed her face. The desk felt too small. Phones away, the teacher said. A boy whispered, first class, huh? Maya stared at the window. It wasn't about money, it was about how fast eyes decide. Her sleeve buzzed. Unknown, we found your Insta. A screenshot of her recital flyer followed. Comments crawled, tell your dad to stop playing hero and start parenting. The bell released them. A shoulder check, a cold laugh. In a bathroom stall, she breathed like a dancer, air in, air out. She typed to Noah, please stop talking to microphones. Deleted. Typed, are you coming tonight? Deleted again. Across town, Tessa let alerts pile until suspended flashed, Arian contracts frozen. She called. Hey, he said. You promised her a chair at 6, Tessa said. Not a press conference at noon. I didn't plan either, he said. One happened to me, the other I'm trying to keep. You're trying to keep a brand, she said. Our daughter needs a dad. The system changes only if someone with keys turn them in public. Put a key in a lock tonight. Don't bring her the speech, bring you. She texted, he said, then stopped. She's in school, Tessa said, and you're on every screen. Through C7's glass, the plane he'd turned sat still. He pictured a violin under Maya's chin, the fierce mouth she made. I'll be there, he said, knowing time is cruel to sentences like that. Don't make me tell her another story about traffic, Tessa said. I'm out of synonyms. A buzz, Marcus, Atlas vote passed. We're bleeding. Noah closed his eyes. He called Evelyn. Ma, I saw, she said. Proud of the decent part. Worried about the part where you forget you're human. I didn't forget. You think humans don't need dinner with their children? She softened. Respect that isn't tested is theater. Love that isn't present is a sermon to an empty pew. I'm trying to hold both. Then hold the one in your house first. A bag rustled. Do right by people and by your girl. In a black car, Jared Holt slid in beside Catherine Vale and opened a secure chat. He attached a file named Carter Personal, things only a friend would know. At school, Maya braved the hallway. A sophomore fell in step. My dad blows it in public too, the girl said. Doesn't mean he doesn't love me. Back at C7, the FAA man leaned toward Noah. We'll need statements. Cameras edged closer. Dana checked her watch. Lydia clicked her pen. Noah's phone buzzed. New text. Unknown, nice house on Orchard. Cute porch. See you at 6. The letters rearranged into a threat. The world went bright and narrow. To Marcus, trace this number now. To Tessa, lock the back gate. I'm on my way. Cursor blinked in the message to Maya, the one he'd been writing since the day he left. He typed, I'm coming, believe me, I promise, soon. 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. They put Noah in a glass cube off C7. Foss sat, Dana Morales folded her arms, Lydia plugged in a charger. Mina hovered at the door like someone deciding whether she belonged. No counsel? Dana asked. I brought one, Noah said, nodding at Lydia. FAA said, state it. Then we secure devices. No, Noah said. First, the one person who tried to do right. Mina winced. I followed procedure. You followed a habit, Noah said softer. Ask the lower status party to be flexible. We're not litigating training, Dana cut in. We are if training is the design, Lydia said. Mina stepped in and shut the door. Last year, she told the FAA man, a senator's aide wanted a seat near his boss. We moved the man who paid. I filed a bias report. It died in coaching. I was told to watch my tone. What's your tone? Afraid and done. Noah slid a letter across the table, Aryan letterhead. Inclusive operations lead. Council budget teeth. Build an escalation path no one can bury. You'll be sued before you're thanked. Do you want the hard way? Why me? She asked. Because you already did the hard part, you told the mirror the truth. She's suspended, Dana said. She's promoted, Noah said. The FAA man tapped. Mr. Carter, this isn't Aryan HR. It is if the fix lives in software, Noah said. Mina reached for the pen, stopped. My mother cleans houses. She says be grateful for policy. I want her grateful for the mirror. Sign. Mina signed the line. Noah slid her a card. Collect logs, archive, interview crews without PR. Write the sentence people can live by in a storm. I already have sources, Mina said. I keep things no one asks for. Dana stilled. What things? Audio from last month, Mina told the FAA man. Captain Hidalgo on interphone, move him Mrs. Donnelly pays our rent, a black veteran in 4D. Noah's pulse steadied. You kept that. I couldn't not, she said. I didn't know where to send it that wouldn't vanish. Send it to me, Noah said. Then to FAA, then build policy so no one needs a hero. We won't publish recordings, Dana said. You will when it's evidence, Lydia said. The FAA man nodded. We'll take custody. Mina opened a hidden folder and slid her phone over. The FAA man's eyebrows climbed. That voice is your captain. Yes, Mina said, and others. Board wants you quiet, Dana said, and off the premises. Then escort me to the podium, Noah said. No, Mina's phone buzzed again and handed it to Noah. Nice house on Orchard, cute porch, see you at 6, a grainy photo, Maya's bike. Noah's chair scraped. I have to go. Mr. Carter, the FAA warned. My daughter is not an operation, Noah said. He turned to Mina. Send the audio to Marcus and FAA. Start the archive. If anyone says stop, call me, then Lydia. Mina nodded. Noah faced the FAA man. Write this, a hold needs cause. Cause must include dignity, especially for least powerful. The FAA man wrote. Dana stepped in his path. If you leave, you lose the room. If I stay, I lose my house and who lives in it. He reached for the door. We're not done. Lydia said, we never are. He opened the door and froze. Jared Holt stood outside, tie calm, smile neat, a manila envelope pinched like a check. Noah, Jared said, walk with me or I hand this to the FAA. Jared's smile was the kind you put on for bank managers. Walk, he said, angling Noah down a side corridor where the glass stopped listening. The manila envelope looked light, it felt heavy. What's in the bag? Noah asked. Lifelines, Jared said. A draft apology. You say the owner hold was an overzealous test. You step back to protect Aryan from distraction. I shepherd an interim. Atlas reinstates. FAA breathes. By Monday, you're a visionary who took responsibility. And if I don't? Jared tapped the envelope. Spec printouts, time stamps, your watch auth. If I hand this to FAA, they'll call it interference. You leaked the spec, Noah said. From your personal Gmail to Stone. Jared didn't flinch. I shopped leverage. We were being strangled. Atlas has hated you since you refused their seat on our board. We, Noah said. Jared's jaw ticked. I built the balance sheets that paid for your rails, bud. You've been off building speeches. Noah saw a dorm room, 2 mattresses on the floor, a whiteboard with impossible arrows. You ate my ramen, he said. I wrote your first paycheck on a napkin. And I turned it into a company, Jared said evenly. Then you walked onto airplanes with sermons and forgot the math. The math is a boy named Leo who paid for window, Noah said. The math is Mina's report that died under tone. The math is you charging Arian $500,000 for inclusion workshops that funneled into Blackbird Strategies, your shell. Jared's mouth barely moved. You don't know how close we were to default. Bright Arc was cover for liquidity. No one gets hurt if the machine keeps rolling. Except everyone it rolls, Noah said. Jared held up a palm. Last offer, you sign the apology. I put this in a drawer. Atlas restores. Vale Group underwrites the bridge. Vale Group, Noah said. Catherine? Market development, Jared said. A grant. Caleb runs the vote, Catherine oils the hinges. That's how grown-ups save companies. Noah stared at him. She sat in 2A, and you set the plane on fire, Jared snapped. Pick an adult room. Noah exhaled through his teeth. You threatened my house. Jared blinked. What? Cute porch, Maya's bike. Noah stepped closer. If that came from you, the envelope won't matter. I don't do daughters, Jared said, color rising. Ask yourself who benefits if you panic. Noah believed him and hated that it helped. He texted Marcus, trace number, police to Orchard now. He turned his phone face down. Give me the envelope, he said. Jared tucked it to his ribs. After you sign. Then hear this instead, Noah said. He hit speaker. Boardroom record. A chime, Marcus's voice, rolling. Noah's voice was flat. Effective immediately, Jared Holt is placed on unpaid leave. An independent firm will audit all vendor relationships, including Bright Arc and Blackbird. All findings go to the state AG. We will cooperate with FAA. We will not call theft market development. Jared stared like a man watching a bridge lift as he crossed. You can't run Arian without me. I can't run Arian with a CFO who forwards our arteries to a competitor, Noah said. Hand me the envelope, or hand it to the FAA with your name on the chain. Jared's eyes slid, calculating exits. You'll burn it all down. I'll let light in, Noah said. Footsteps. Lydia rounded the corner with her phone held out like a warrant. I was looking for you too, good timing. Not now, Jared said. Now, Lydia answered and flicked a page on her screen. Easton Harbor Partners, a shell controlled by Vale Group. Wire transfers to Stone Family Foundation, education outreach totaling $600,000 over 8 weeks, beginning 3 days before today's Atlas motion. Notes, advocacy, industry modernization. Jared's face leaked color. You can spin any donor file into. Into what? Lydia said. Into a vote you pretended was about ethics. Noah felt the hallway tilt. You have receipts. Stamped, Lydia said. Routing numbers. I have sources at 2 banks and a junior at Easton who hates being told to fetch coffee while committing crimes. Jared recovered enough to sneer. This is a gossip column. Lydia's tone stayed patient. Then sleep easy. She thumbed send. I just filed. When we step out there, the rope line will already know. Dana Morales appeared at the far end, FAA in tow. Mr. Carter, we still need your device. In a minute, Noah said. He turned to Jared. Hand me the envelope. Walk yourself to HR. Call a lawyer who doesn't bill by PowerPoint. Jared smiled one last practice time, then pushed the envelope against Noah's chest as if returning a sweater. I'll see you in court, he said, and his shoes made a sound like deciding. Noah tucked the envelope under his arm and looked at Lydia. Atlas, she checked her phone. The Alliance chair just posted a "We take donor transparency seriously" thread, always a sign they don't. Reporters are circling Stone. In Vale, her margin calls on a timer, Lydia said. If this hits the wires before she patches it, the timer becomes a hammer. Noah nodded once. Then let's time it. Marcus's text landed. Officers at Orchard. Tessa inside with Maya. Unknown number pinged a tower near the airport, then went dark. Noah exhaled for the first time in an hour. I have to get to my kid. You also have to finish the room you started, Lydia said. They'll write your ending if you leave. Then walk with me, he said. Microphones on the way out. They stepped back toward the light of C7, Dana waiting, FAA stone-faced, Amory's lens already rising. Behind the rope, people checked their phones and began to murmur the new name in the scandal like a fresh toothache. Mr. Carter. Dana said tightly, your device. After a sentence, Noah said, he faced the microphones. Arian will refer evidence of pay-to-play between Vale Group and Caleb Stone to the Attorney General. We'll cooperate with any investigation into Atlas's vote. We'll publish our vendor audit. And I'll be in a school gym at 6. A beat of silence, then the terminal's buzz pitched higher as every pocket lit at once. On the nearest news crawl, letters flipped fast as cards. Breaking documents link Vale Group to payments supporting Atlas vote. Stone under ethics review. Somewhere behind the rope, a woman's voice, trembling and thrilled, said, "Oh my God." Noah handed Dana the tablet. "Secure it," he said. "Then fix what it showed you." The FAA man nodded. Lydia's screen flashed an alert. Stone will address media at C7 in 10 minutes, and the crowd turned like a school of fish. Catherine Vale stepped into view beside the podium. Makeup perfect, smile sharpened for war. And behind her, straightening his tie, Caleb Stone walked toward the microphones as if nothing at all had changed. C7 felt like a court. Cameras swung between Noah, Catherine Vale, and Caleb Stone. "Here's what happens next," Noah said. "Within 30 days, every carrier on Ariane's rails deploys bias sight, an escalation pipeline you can't bury under tone. Every complaint moves, time-stamped, until someone with authority signs." The FAA liaison nodded. "With our visibility." "And unions," Noah said. A woman with a lanyard, Transport Workers Local 82, stepped forward. "We'll sit at the table. We're done getting blamed for decisions made 2 floors up." Mina stepped beside her. "Built by crew for crew, so no one has to be a hero to be decent." "No scapegoats," Noah added. "Captain Hidalgo and MS Park are case 1. Reviews start with the audio Ariane preserved." Catherine laughed. "Your company is finished." Lydia read from her phone. Breaking, investigators open probe into Vale Group shells. Margin calls on 3 notes. A North Star manager stepped up. "MS, Vale, you're barred from our flights pending the inquiry." "You can't," she started. "We just did," Mina said. Caleb took the mic. "Ariane abused market power. Atlas voted to suspend contracts pending review. We welcome accountability." "Pretty word," Lydia said. "Where was it before your donors bought it?" Caleb smiled. "See you in court." "You will," Noah said. "Bring your ledgers. Face the room." Biosite goes live in 48 hours on North Star, a week later across our network. FAA and the union get dashboards. Quarterly we publish counts, complaints, escalations, discipline, so no one has to FOIA whether the mirror's honest. Marcus leaned. "AG wants the Bright Arc/Blackbird packet." "Send it," Noah said. He texted Maya, "Be at the gym by 7. Front row, left side, like you asked when you were 6. The FAA liaison gestured to Noah's watch. "We'll need the device used to authenticate the hold." "It's yours," Noah said, unclasping it. "Keep the log with the cause." Dana Morales pushed forward. "Our board just approved quarterly transparency and a corporate escalation path. 60 days. 30, Noah said. Lydia's screen flashed. "Atlas Chair, we will revisit the vote in light of new financial disclosures." A veteran raised a hand. "If you can't promise a window, promise the rule." "I can," Noah said. The North Star manager offered a form. "Sign for MS Vale's ban." Catherine's ring clicked. "You think banning me is justice? You humiliated me." "No," Noah said. "I stopped pretending your wants were law." He signed. Maya finally replied, "It's at 6, not 7. It's always been at 6. Tessa's text stacked under it. "Program moved earlier. Call me." "Go," Lydia said. Noah handed the mic to Mina. Mina faced the crowd. "We put valued where human belongs. That ends today." Noah cut through the rope line. A uniformed agent stepped into his path, palm up. "Sir, 1 second. FAA has an additional question about your override." The radio on his shoulder hissed, "Hold Carter at C7. Noah looked past him toward the exit sign, the light over the door already flickering like something about to go out. He needed to move now. They tried to hold him at C7 with one more form and one more question. Noah pointed to the bike photo and said, "That's not a policy, that's a porch." The FAA man read the threat, swore, and waved him through. "We'll take your statement after 6. Traffic punished him anyway. He parked crooked, ran under a flat sky, reached the gym as the bows rose. Maya stood second row, jaw set, violin tucked like a dare. He didn't sit. He stayed in the doorway and let the music tell him what a promise sounds like from the other end. When the last note died, the room clapped. Maya looked toward the door the way people look for ambulances, hope mixed with anger. Saw him? She didn't move, then gave the smallest nod a person can give and still call it forgiveness. After, on the curb with paper plates and lemonade, Tessa said, "You made it." "Barely," he said. "Barely counts," she said. "Don't spend it like a coupon." Maya pretended to tie a shoe. "You grounded a plane." "I grounded a bad story," he said. "I'm trying to write a decent one." "You owe me chapters." "I know, start with dinner, tomorrow, and bread." She didn't smile, the corner of her mouth considered it. 6, she said, and left him with the number like a sentence to serve. 6 months later, every concourse had a new tile, biosite report. Mina stood at a podium and said, "By crew for crew." Complaint counts rolled quarterly, escalations had names, decisions had signatures. Lydia's series won a prize. Amory sold her documentary and put her ex's DMs in the credits under a line. No one owns this lens. North Star posted the audit. Other carriers followed because silence got expensive. Caleb Stone stepped down. Jared pled, then cooperated. Vale Group missed the cure. Catherine learned what a banned letter feels like in the hand. Noah kept the window seat and a smaller calendar. He made 6 o'clock more than he missed it. Sometimes Evelyn texted from church, proud of the decent part. Bring 2 loaves. On a Tuesday in Miami, he found 2A warm from the last person. A message waited from an address he didn't recognize. I sat in 2A today. They checked my pass. They called me by name. No one asked me to be flexible. Saw the ocean and cried into a napkin. Thank you. He saved it. Not everything requires noise. His phone buzzed again, a tone he hadn't heard. Marcus, heads up, bias site just flagged a carrier for bypassing escalation in certain ZIP codes. Someone built a hidden-off switch. Quiet for now. Noah looked at the seat number stitched above the window, then at the blue world. Not quiet, he wrote back. Loud and public. The captain announced a routine delay. 10 minutes for weather. In the calm before movement, Noah lifted his phone like it weighed more than glass and drafted the next sentence. He knew door to open next, and how loud to swing.